So I like dated a gay guy for 5 years that I think
Wow.
he was, yeah.
So that
So,
set you did was a real, like that.
everything I talk about is real.
Oh,
So
wow.
nothing is not, yeah, everything's real. So that happened to me, and it was a sexless relationship. Could care less about my boobs. I was in my prime when I was dating him. Could care
Mm.
less about how it just seemed, so it was odd. And I know there was always excuses, about like testosterone or this or that. And I was just like, so I felt bad for him. So I
Mhm.
didn't talk about it. So for 5 years, never told one person any of the issues that I had. And I told myself, well, I'm just going to accept this because I love him, and I'm not going to not be with this. But like, and I also didn't have a lot of experience before him. So
Mhm.
I thought I'm going to get married and I'm going to be with this person, and maybe we don't have sex, but he's really nice and cute and he's funny. And then I found out, oh, he has a double life. And but if I would have told one friend, they would be like, something is off. Like, that's not
Right.
normal. So when I started doing stand up, and I wasn't even talking about him, because it was actually maybe a year or two after I dated him,
Uh-huh.
I dated some other guys. And after this, I was like, I am not shutting my mouth. Like, if something's going on, I'm asking my friends, I'm talking to other women. Like, women need to talk to women, we need
Yeah.
to like tell each other that, hey, this is not normal. This is not like, so we can be on each other's team, and we could like share these things that we don't talk about growing up. Like, when I grew up, no one told me about sex. No one told me about, I didn't know how to have sex. I thought it was cuddly and naked. So I just feel like it's nice to like be able to go on stage and talk about a situation that I just went through. And then also maybe someone in the audience could be like, oh shit, that happened to me. And I was embarrassed about it. And be like, no, we can laugh about it. Like, let's laugh. And
Yeah.
it's a joke, and let's laugh and learn. And then, and
Yeah.
let's talk some shit about it. Like, there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with
So
talking some shit.
did did you find him on Grinder, or like did you catch his Grinder profile, or how did you it come out that, I'm sorry for like fixated on this question, but how did it finally come out that he was gay?
Well, this is the thing. It never actually come out that he was like, it's something that I think he was gay. He worked in the bars, he worked at gay nightclubs the entire time that I've known him. And I
Oh
never thought anything.
yeah. Oh
And
yeah. Oh yeah.
I never
Right.
was like, that wasn't weird to me. I was always thought like, I love that he's just confident and he's like
Mm-hmm.
such a cool, like open person. But there was a
Right.
lot of weird moments. Like, he lived in New York before he lived here. And he'd be like, I'm going to New York. And then I would see him on Facebook, and there would be these pictures from like a sex party, and he's wearing like choker, and like some guy's holding it. And I'm like, I get it if that's work, because I've worked in nightclubs and bottle service myself. So I've worked some crazy jobs myself.
Yeah.
So I thought, oh, he's like me, where we kind of have the same lives. Like, it's, so I always thought he was just super cool and chill.
Uh-huh.
I was like, that's and he was
Right.
beautiful. He was a beautiful man. So I was just like, damn, this hot guy, he's so cute, and so but there were so many signs. I mean, I don't even know how to even explain now. I mean, I can't even think about it now, but he would tell me about his friends, and he'd be like my friend, and be also just like so excited about it. Like, one of his friends, this guy bought him a house, and he was like, yeah, he bought him a house. Can you believe it? And I was
What,
like,
like
oh,
another guy buying another guy a house?
yeah, like an old guy buying a young hot guy a house. His friend was a young hot guy. And then I guess apparently they were at a party, and someone walked in, and the guy was like him in the, and he was like, yeah, so he's like this guy, and he bought him a house, but he was always like so excited, so excited. And then he used to work at a bar at a nice restaurant in Hollywood. And then after we broke up, and he used to work there, and I was like, oh, I hope he's not working here. I talked to the maitre d'. I go, oh yeah, my ex-boyfriend used to work here. Does he still work here? Because I'm gonna have a drink at the bar. And he goes, who's your boyfriend? I told him. He goes, oh, him? He's your boyfriend? He was
He's
like,
like,
he's like, he's gay for pay, right? Or gay. And I was like, what? And I was like, because I think he was like an actor. He was an actor, but like he would probably like, he always was hanging out with gay casting directors, always like trying to get an opportunity.
oh,
So
one of those. Yeah.
but he was like very macho, very like the biggest person in his town, small town. I don't
Oh,
think
that,
he could ever accept it. Like not
yeah.
he maybe has a second like under thing going on, but he would never accept to come out. And maybe it's something like he thinks like, well, I'm doing it for this, I'm doing it for this. But I will tell you, since the day that I met him, we had no sexual there was no intimacy. Like we didn't like the first time we hooked up, it was like, oh my gosh, he was so into me. We never had that. It was
Oh.
weird. It was so it makes sense. Like after we ended it and I started dating like a bunch of different people, I was like, oh, this guy wasn't attracted to me. And maybe he is. Maybe he's I mean, there's a spectrum. You could be bisexual, and I'm totally like I I've explored myself. So it's not like I think that there's a spectrum. So if he liked both men and women, but maybe he just didn't like me. I don't know, but we were together for 5 years. And
Wow.
and later when I found out that he had been cheating on me, it was like, oh, he was cheating with this girl who looked like a bodybuilder in the bathroom at the gay nightclub. Like weird, like I heard about that stuff. So I was like, I think it's
Wow.
fighting. I know I'm
Right,
telling you way
fighting.
too much.
Oh, no. I love the story. I'm sorry you went through it. That's just crazy.
Well, I felt more bad that like, there's all obviously like he never did anything bad to me in the sense where he was
Right.
nice to me. He was a nice guy to me. He did cheat on me with many, many people, and he had a double life, and I do think there's like some weird things going on for him, but he's struggling on his own shit. I it's
I notice
weird.
in LA though, what you're talking about, there's a lot of guys, it's like stereotypical, like it's a guy to be an actor, and they do have like these bi tended. I saw a lot of that when I lived in Los Angeles with guys, and they sort of were, I saw a lot of that, like more
Mhm.
and more, and they always came from like they were this a big fish in their little town, and then they come to LA. And even though I'm not originally from LA, I observed this because I would see, a lot of people come in and they were sort of like sharks or out for themselves too.
Yeah, it's the
I
worst.
see that.
LA is the worst place to date in general because it is that a lot of social climbers. Who's gonna help
Yeah.
me? Who's like
And what was
also
here and all about social media, even though I have a big social media, a decent sized following, another thing that I thought was kind of like, sometimes they're too much about like the people in social media. Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It's weird. I mean, at this point, I would like to date someone that's not in the entertainment business. Is kind of where I'm at. The last guy that I dated, even though, and then let's just say this. This is the sad part: is I have dated so much that and let's just say that relationship with the guy with the double life was probably my most stable relationship that I had.
Wow.
The most like normal because it was fake. It was like also I there was something wrong with me. So it's not just him. I obviously was like,
Well, if you're in a relationship though, and you have a guy and it's not that's you're confident, you get to talk to him every day. As women, it's something, a relationship like that where we can open up and talk to somebody sometimes, that's comforting.